I'm heading up to Leean Mountain today in Sligo, Ireland, where I'll be pitching up somewhere near the summit. It was recommended to me in the comments some time ago, and I've been meaning to take a look for quite a while now. It's right on the eastern edge of the Darty range, which includes the more well-known Benbulben peninsula. And it said locally that when viewing the group of mountains of Kellogyboy, Benbo and Leean from the local town of Dromahair, they resemble the form of a sleeping giant. So I'll be camping on the belly of the giant tonight. It's a significant karst area in geological terms, made up of limestone, and the whole area is full of underground caverns, and untypically for Ireland it's a dry mountain. I have my new Kuiu Stormstar, only the second outing, but I'm not expecting any trying weather conditions. No wind, rain, but quite overcast. What they call in Ireland a soft day.
Here we are out on another trip, and today we're back up in the Sligo area, but heading up a mountain that I haven't been before, Leean Mountain. Now this is in the Darty range. It's a well-known karst area. The name's given to the geology of the area because it's made up of limestone rock, and on top of it is the bog was laid down. The whole area was underwater many years ago, and under tropical water. Well, I hope that bull is actually in the field there and isn't likely to come out. Actually, it doesn't look as if he's penned in. I'll stay well clear of that fella anyway. Yeah, I don't like being around cattle, or especially bulls. Oh, we see another one up here. Looks like there's a cow and maybe a calf there, so I definitely don't want to be encroaching. So I think I'll take a bit of avoiding action here. I'll stay well clear. But luckily I don't think they're too interested in me. But up here is Leean Mountain. There's a track going up the middle there. I was expecting to go more over to the left, so I need to check my map. But you know what, I think I'll check it a little bit further away from these. That's good, I can actually see another fence down there. So I get to the other side of that and it looks like it's all sheep down there, which are fine. I don't mind sheep. Well, we have a farmer coming this way, so I think I'll just wait a few minutes just to make sure there isn't any problem with me going up here. Well, I just had a quick chat to the farmer. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't in the way and that they had no objections to me coming up here, and they were very nice. And they said crack on. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pull up here, just as I'm starting off. It'll be too hot, I think I'll take a layer off in a minute. It always seems colder than it actually is. After a few minutes of stretching the legs, you soon build up some heat in the sweat, especially with a heavy pack. So I get to the top of this little rise and we'll take a layer off. Yeah, quite a bit of cow pats up here, not just sheep, so I'm going to have to watch where I'm going. Actually, looks like the herd over there. Stay well clear of those. The danger with cattle is if they've got calves. Now we see just coming into view in the distance Those are the towers of Trustmore. I'd walked a bit further up, but there's quite a bit of extensive fencing and I didn't want to be jumping over that. So I could see a track over there. And if I just come down here, there is a gate. So to avoid doing any type of damage to the fence, I just a slight detour back and get to a gate. I'm just going up the hill, is that okay?
No, unfortunately not. No,
All right.
properly.
I'm not going to go anywhere you don't want me to go.
It's all, yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure, just so you know, because
Yeah.
we're trying to work with sheep here.
Yeah, no, I saw that and I was kept quiet and I stayed over there and okay.
Cheers, no, thank you very much.
You're working with sheep, so I wouldn't want to be wouldn't want to be in your way.
Very good, yeah. We're busy today now. We
No
generally
problem.
don't allow people anyways on it just because, just to interfere with the sheep and sheep drive.
Oh, do you not?
crazy and-
It's private land. This is.
Yeah, it's all private. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This isn't though, no.
This is Commonage Mountain now.
Sorry.
Oh, no, there's full access to this now.
Oh, because you're working, and that's fine. There's plenty of places to go, so I wouldn't do
It's
that.
happened before. People have left gates open and sheep have got out. And
I know that very well. I wouldn't do that, but
No,
I
not
know what
you,
you mean.
No, that's it. No, it's just happened before.
Yeah, no, I know it very well. In fact, I was walking up there and I thought, well, this is a good fence. And I walked down here because of this. I thought, well, there's going to be a gate here.
Yeah, oh no.
So I didn't want to go over the fences.
You going to camp up there or are you going to... You'll be up in no time now.
All right, thank you. Okay, you go. I was heading up to the hill behind me. It's not actually Leean Mountain. It's Fun Lion area. I came across the farmer and he's rounding up sheep and he did actually say that that section was private land and he asked if I wouldn't go up there. So of course not. So I've just turned around and heading up another area here. There's plenty of places in Ireland and this is commonage up to Leean Mountain. It would have been nice to have gotten up there, up to the top and then back down and across. But you have to respect local farmers. It's their land. They're working it. It's their living. And move on. You can just about make the trig point of Leean Mountain. Might actually not go straight up. There should be a track going a little ways around to the left and I'll take an easy route up. This is only my second outing, my second hike and wild camp since I broke my ankle, so I don't want to force the pace. I'm feeling good at the moment. The last wild camp, or should I say the first outing last week, was brilliant really, because my ankle was really feeling quite stiff beforehand and having 2 days of walking and having the ankle swelling at night time was good for it because it stretched it out and I felt much better this week, the whole week actually for it, and today it's going great, so fingers crossed. So it's kind of a bit overcast now, but we can see in the distance the towers of Trustmore, and the dip there is beyond that ridge there is Luke's Bridge, and if you followed the far ridge round further to the left, I'll show you in a minute when I get around the corner, that you'd end up in Benbulben. And when we see Benbulben, we'll also see King's Mountain. I had a lovely wild camp at King's Mountain. I'll put a link in the description. But yeah, I tested out my new Rab 700 on that outing and the day was lovely. It was bright sunshine, got some great video and it was really beautiful over there. I had the helm tool with me and I pitched up in the valley between King's Mountain and another mountain, I can't remember its name, but it was a beautiful spot. And the next day it was all clagged in, couldn't see too much, but it was a lovely walk out and I was able to practice the navigation. Right in the distance there are the Crohan Mountains between that saddle, and that saddle there is leading up to Hangman's Hill. And I had another camp that I came down from Hangman's Hill, did some nice video, and down to the left there. I didn't climb that mountain, Kellogyboy far east top, but I went down the valley, the other side of it. But one day I'll get up there. Yeah, had some, I think had some nice drone shots on that day from that vantage point. And I did look over here to Leean Mountain and said, you know what, I must get across here as well because it looks quite sparse, but it's a mountain I haven't done, and I thought, well, I need to give that a go. I'm going to start heading up at an angle to Leean Mountain. Days gone by I would have just gone straight up there, but I want to just preserve my ankle as much as possible and do a zigzag up, and it makes more sense, to be quite honest. There's no point in expending energy you don't need to. Just going a a less steep gradient. Turns out a bit further, but it's a lot less effort. So a little bit further to go. But we're starting to get a good view of the limestone. This rock bed was very ancient, laid down over 300 million years ago. It used to be below the oceans, and it was a tropical sea here. Would you believe, in Ireland? Tropical sea, I don't believe it. Only tropical thing in Ireland here now is my fish tank. Now as we get further up, I'm expecting that we're going to see flatter pieces where the water has laid in the rock over millennia and caused little bowls, little cups that hold the water, and eventually channels erode out. That's really noticeable over in Kellogyboy, and my other video does show that. There's been a lot of scientific research because this is an area of special scientific interest, and they've dug down in over 100 spots and they've found ancient walls below the bog which date back thousands of years before, say, the bog was ever laid down. Also, because it's limestone, on some of these mountains like Leean mountain and over at Kellogyboy, it's very dry and the limestone would be eroded away, and a lot of the water creates underground caverns and caves, so there's quite a lot of hollowness in these mountains. Hopefully they won't cave in while I'm walking on them. Yeah, this sort of terrain is nice and not exactly flat, but there's no great mounds of heather, and would have been a more sensible hike for my first one. But last week I went on what I thought was going to be an easy flat hike, but there was loads of heather. But this would have been better, but I didn't know that. That might be a nice little spot to pitch the tent. Yeah. Let's get up to the spot height and tick that off. And there we go. Yeah, it's a nice day. Not a glorious day or evening, but a very nice evening. The range of hills is the Croton Mountains. Nice long range. It's great for an A to B walk. And over to the west, Sligo and the ocean. And then beyond that is America. We can see Queen Maeve's grave. You can just see a megalithic tomb on top, and that's Knocknarea Mountain. So George, I mentioned for you, when I was over at Kellogyboy last time, you told me that you were over at Leean Mountain there and I should try it. So here I am. I'm only here because you said so, George. So thanks very much for the tip. I'm just going to take a look over the other side of Leean Mountain. I think I will stay here tonight and pitch up. I was considering going further, but you know, it's getting late enough, and I can save the hike I was thinking of doing this evening for tomorrow morning, because I've got tomorrow as well. So it'd be nice to pitch up earlier and just settle down for the night. And it's very overcast. It's going to get darker sooner rather than later tonight. So in the morning I'll be heading down in this direction, probably over to that stone enclosure, take a wee look at that, and across to that mountain, and then back down across those smaller ones over to the car. So not going a huge distance on this trip. It's enough though. I've been going for a couple of hours, and yeah, enjoying it. Yeah, I think I've found a nice flat pitch, as flat as I'm going to get, but not bad. I've come down off Leean Mountain, which is just there. I can actually see the trig from here. I have a little bit of bog here. It's wet in areas around it, but this is quite dry, so lovely. I have my Kuiu Storm Star. I don't need it for tonight. It's going to be a good night, but practice in the good weather setting it up. The last time I did it there last week, I made a bit of a mess of it. I'm sure it won't be perfect this time, but hopefully it'll be a bit better than the last time, because I had the poles going in the wrong direction. That'll teach me for not practicing at home. Okay, so let's get this up quick. I bought myself an oversized Van Gogh bag for the Storm Star, because the bag it was in would be just too tight. And so, like magic, ta-da! And camped just underneath the trig point of Leean Mountain. When I did skydiving, and I'd occasionally land off the field because I'd been dropped too far away from it, so I just couldn't make it back for whatever reason, if you'd ever landed in a field of cows, then you'd know how curious they are. They see you coming in and they scatter a little bit, but as soon as you're down, they're around you, because I think it's the colour of the canopy, and they're just curious beasts. So I hope they don't get too curious tonight. I don't want them coming up to the tent and keeping me awake. Well, the cows are back, which is a shame. I thought they might disappear around the other side of the mountain. Just did a couple of drone shots. If they're any good, you'll have seen them by now. And I've just got my Rab 700 lofted in nicely, and I'm going to get my Big Agnes Rapide sleeping pad out. And let's make this cosy. Morning. Well, that was a little bit of a rough night thinking of those cows. I can actually hear them cropping the grass. I could just hear one pigging outside there as well now. But time to get up, get something to eat, and get on with the day. Nice morning, pretty cold. I tried to get a bit of a time lapse done with my camera, but I wouldn't have seen much there anyway. So let's get up and let's get some noodles going. It's a good bit chillier this morning. It's because the mist is down, temperatures dropped quite a bit. The usual chicken noodles just to warm me up in the morning. I find these a good start. They're easy to make. If you don't make them, you just heat them up. And a good energy source. Lovely. Right, we'll take a look at the map. There is Leean Mountain. There's the spot ice. I am just below it, and then I'll be heading over to this spot right here, 350, then over to that one, and then over to the far corner of Leean Mountain, and then back to that spot ice, and then I'll be following the stream down back to the road there. So a nice little horseshoe there. It's not too far really, but we'll look at keeping track of the timing. So from the spot height here, I'd worked out it was 050 degrees, 500 meters. 500 meters, just as a reminder, at 3 kilometers an hour equates to 10 minutes, and there was one contour of elevation. So 10 plus one contour, 1 minute, 11 minutes to get from here to here. Now I am just below the spot height, so we'll take a minute off. So that's about 10 minutes. And once I'm over here at 370, I'll be heading for 352, and that's 090 degrees, 750 meters. So 750 meters at 3 kilometers an hour is 714, and 1 and 50 is 1. So 15 minutes, and there are 2 contours going up. So it's 15 plus 2 contours, 2 minutes, so that's 17 minutes in total. And then once I'm over here, I'll be changing, and I'll take a bearing of 208 degrees, 800 meters. 800 meters at 3 kilometers an hour. 800 is 16, and it goes up 4 contours. That's another 4 minutes. That's 20 minutes. So that'll get me to there, and then I'll follow the ridge down. So that's just a quick summary of what I'll be doing. First leg, 050, and we're just aiming for where those sheep are. Of course, we won't rely on the sheep being there, but that's where I'm going to be aiming for. So I'll set my watch off now, and I said 11 minutes, but that's from the top of the trig point. We're about a minute down from there, so 10 minutes should see me over there. You've seen the limestone karst formations. Well, I got here a bit quicker than the 10 minutes I said. I got here in 7.5 minutes. But actually, when I look back, there's the trig point, and I was down where the break in the bog is. I'd come a bit further to start with. Heading off now in 090, and if I put the needle in the dock and bring it up to the horizon, we can see that that's where I'm aiming at for my next point. Now there's I don't know whether it's an old settlement or it's certainly a boundary wall. We're heading to that. So the next leg we said would take 17 minutes. So I'll set the stopwatch now and we'll see how close we get to that. There's a cold start there, but as usual, starting to warm up now. It's a lovely fresh morning. Great to be alive. Well, every morning is great to be alive, but it's lovely to be out here. When you're packing the tent away and your hands are freezing and you're cold, you're wondering, oh my God, I could be at home by the fire. But once that's done, you're all geared up and you're moving, everything's fine again. I've got a pair of sealskin mitts. Mornings like these, you've packed the tent away, your hands are cold. The last thing you want is for your fingers to stay cold. It's very, very uncomfortable. But you put these on and they warm up in no time. They're fantastic. And totally waterproof as well. Up here on Leean Mountain, it's all commonage. I suppose this sort of enclosure will be used for gathering up the sheep or the cattle. Certainly not used anymore. So view back up to trig point at Leean Mountain. It's actually amazing how far you do come in a short period of time, really. All the more reason to make sure the navigation is practiced often, because in the bad weather you can go quite a distance in the wrong direction. So practice in the good weather so you're ready for the bad weather. 16:47, so I said 17 minutes. So 3 kilometers an hour is still right. It's not very fast, and this terrain is pretty good, to be honest. But I'm not hike fit since the layoff with the broken ankle, so just getting back into that. So I'm happy with that. At least I know my pace and it's accurate. When I looked at the map, I thought, is it possible to get down from here? Well, it's possible, but I've changed my mind. It's not a sheer drop, but it's pretty steep there. I had thought I'd go down by the stream and follow that, but it looks really wet and boggy, so I'm going to give that a miss. Leean Mountain, the trig point very clearly, and that's where I camped, and all I've done is done a horseshoe around here. It's not too far really at all, but in the distance there's Kellogyboy in the middle. That's where I had a fantastic hike and wild camp. It was by a lock, and in the morning I had a little dip in it as well, so that was really nice, really refreshing.
Home point updated.
Having packed my drone away, I headed back the way I came for a short distance. Then, following a gentler slope down the hillside, I traversed the base of Forneri Mountain. Along the route, I spotted a small limestone cave, and I thought, well, I'd take a closer look just to satisfy my curiosity before heading back to the car.
Well, some evidence here of the porosity of limestone rock. See if it goes in. I don't suppose it goes in very far, but let's have a look. If you made it this far, thanks very much for watching. There'll be another one coming up on the screen. Why don't you click into that? I'm sure you'll enjoy it.